The jet in this scene was created in Vectorworks using only a half circle. The following tutorial explains how. Begin by placing a half circle at 0. Move the circle forward from 0. I used a locus point to snap to for this tutorial. Under the Model menu, select Convert to NURBS. When I select the Reshape tool, I only have 4 control points. I need more. Under the Model menu and in the 3D Power Pack module, you can rebuild the curve's points. I will use 15. Note that I am using an odd number. The odd number gives me a control point in the middle of my curve. Using the Reshape tool, I can move points, but if you notice in the upper left panel, those points are snapping to 0 on the layer plane. The snap to working plane is coming into play. To avoid this, use the working plane constraints mode. Each of these constrains movement in either of the 3 axes. I need to constrain in X and Y. Duplicate the first curve and move it back. Use the Reshape tool to move the middle point out. Duplicate this curve and move it back. This time I will reshape the entire curve using the cursor by pulling this handle. This scales the entire curve. Duplicate this curve, move it up, select the Reshape tool and pull the center point further out. Now I can move to a single view. Choose Loft NURBS, No Rail mode, and select each curve. Hit the green arrow or the return key for the dialog box. Use these settings. Using this method, it took about 20 minutes to shape and move these curves into place. I moved 2 curves forward and used the Scale command to resize them. Select the NURBS tool, No Rail, and select the curves. Use the arrow keys to navigate along and the keypad numbers 0 to 9 to change views. Hit the return key for the dialog box. I set it to ruled earlier, but notice how the curves smooth out if I check this off. Our shape would be much different in this mode. Stay with ruled, hit return. There is our half model. Now use the mirror tool to complete the full model. Then use Add Solids to join the 2 halves. I'm going to copy to another layer where there is a pre-constructed cube I made in the correct position. Even though the cube is standard 3D tools, the fillet tool will work on it. Set the fillet to 5. Select these edges shown to fillet, select both objects, and subtract solids to create the canopy boundary. Duplicate this model, ungroup, and use intersect solids to create the canopy. One more operation to create the rear thruster. Put a cut line as shown and use the split tool to separate the thruster. I am an animator and I use another product under the Nemetschek umbrella called Cinema 4D. Vectorworks has a direct export to Cinema 4D. Before exporting, I will assign each piece to a class that will appear in Cinema 4D. Use these settings, geometry only, as I have a preset scene in Cinema 4D. This folder contains the 3 geometry objects with their class names. I will copy them to a folder called Jet and apply the textures below. For the body, I will do a little resizing and add tinted glass to the canopy. Render, and this is what I want. The beauty of Vectorworks to Cinema 4D is the mixing and matching. I made a jet plume in Cinema 4D that is ready in this folder, It just needs to be turned on. The model is then ready to be animated.